Do you consider yourself an original fan of The Loud House? When did you start watching? Season 1, 2, 3? The earlier seasons of The Loud House was a completely different time than what we see today. And I wanted to make a video to see how many of you watching my videos are real. So here's a little game we're gonna play. For this video, watch until number 1 and actually let me know how many of these you remember. Number 5, The Loud House parents' faces. Back in season 1, Nickelodeon showed us what were seen to be the parents of the Loud family. Many people were curious as to what their faces looked like because they never showed it. We only ever saw the bottom portions of their bodies. Back in the older days, no one had a clue as to what these people looked like, and it really kept us wondering. Only original fans of The Loud House would have remembered this, and have noticed that the parents' faces were actually shown in the newer seasons permanently. It's still kind of crazy how they never showed us their faces for the entirety of season 1. Everyone was playing guessing games as to what they looked like. And it wasn't like we saw them in one episode. We saw them in multiple episodes, but we never got to see their faces, ever. So it was up to our imagination to guess what the parents looked like. People even went as far as to make up theories that the parents were maybe not even human. Their faces probably were an animal, or they just looked really dumb. We have no idea, but guys, we do have an idea now. And that's why only original fans remember that they never got to see the faces in the earlier seasons. So there's no more guessing as to what they look like. Rita and Lynn Loud Sr. are forever stamped into our memories and brains. Number 4, gender bending. During the peak of season 1 and the beginning of the show, many fans wondered what the show would be like if the roles were reversed completely. Lisa Loud scares Lincoln Loud out of his bed for one of her experiments. She proceeds to open a portal that Lincoln Loud would soon follow. Lisa warns Lincoln Loud that he doesn't have much time, and if he stays too long, he might get stuck in that different dimension. As he travels through the time-space continuum, Lincoln Loud is shocked at what he sees. We are able to see all their sisters, or should I say brothers, in this scenario. Yes, the Loud House family switched roles, and they gender bended. This was really crazy, and a lot of newer fans have no idea this episode existed, just because there's so many seasons of the Loud House now, but this episode was real, and yes, the characters definitely switched genders from female to male. Let's take a look at how funny this was.
I sure hope Mom and Dad gave us enough dough. Get it?
Luann, Lori, Lucy, Luna, all of them switched over to boys. This was one of the craziest episodes of all time. This episode even felt like fan fiction, just because of how crazy everything was. Many people don't remember this, but did you remember that this episode actually happened? This is a real episode, and Lisa Loud made sure to warn Lincoln Loud that him going to this different dimension, he was possibly going to get stuck there if he spent too much time. This episode was really interesting to see, because it makes us imagine our own families and what they would look like if they were switched over to a different gender. The Loud House is full of surprises, and that's probably why this cartoon is so popular.
Only 12 more hours. I wish this didn't have to end.
Lincoln Loud really enjoyed this new reality, and it seemed like he never wanted to leave. In fact, he actually threw out the gadget that Lisa Loud gave him, which is really scary. I won't spoil the rest of the episode. I'm just gonna go on to number 3. The Loud House movie delayed. Back in 2019 of January, it was announced that The Loud House was supposed to actually have a movie. I've announced this every year on my channel, and since then, we've never gotten the movie. It was only recently announced in 2021 that we're actually going to get this movie, and they released promotional for the movie, what we see on screen today. Only old fans remember that this kept getting delayed, and it was kind of annoying. Now guys, I'm going to go on to a bonus. The bonus is the Loud House characters dancing really weird in the older seasons on the Nickelodeon channel. During the time of Fortnite cringe dances like Teen Titans Go, the Loud House and Nickelodeon decided to follow that lead, and decided to make all the Loud House sisters, including Lincoln Loud, do really strange, goofy dances that were trending at the time. And this is crazy. Did we really need to see Lola Loud dabbing on Nickelodeon? I don't really know. It was a strange decision from Nickelodeon, of course, but it is the Loud House. This was during the time Fortnite was at its peak. Everyone and their mom was playing this game. So, the dances, of course, bled into shows. And one of those shows was the Loud House, and we see, obviously, Lola Loud doing the dab. Crazy, crazy stuff. Some people would say that's cringe. I don't know what to say, guys. Number 2, Lincoln Loud's voice actor changed. Do you remember Lincoln Loud's voice changing? Yes, it did in fact happen. The original actor for Lincoln was Grant Palmer in the older seasons.
This doesn't look like a different dimension.
Greetings, Collide!
However, he was replaced with Asher due to him hitting puberty. This is a real thing that happens in cartoons and in the real world, obviously. When someone hits puberty, guys, their voices change and he's not going to be able to voice Lincoln Loud, unless you want to hear Lincoln Loud with a deep voice, which doesn't really make sense to his character. This happened, and only original fans of the Loud House will remember this happening. Did you even remember the change in his voice? These actors are so good, it's such a subtle change that I don't even think I realized it. I had to look this up. So did you notice that Lincoln Loud's voice actually changed? And if you did you remember? This is a normal thing and a common occurrence in cartoons when they have child actors. So I shouldn't be surprised, yet I'm still surprised at how good the voice actors sound. They literally sound like the same person, even though they're totally different people. Let's go on to number 1, the old comic style. There was a point in time in season 1 when the Loud House really followed its true origins. The original creator of the Loud House, Chris Savino, envisioned the show to have comic style. Let's take a look.
Of me paying homage to that early desire in my life to do a comic strip.
Similar to the comic books we see in DC, Marvel, and other comics, we're able to see a color scheme and a color code. And this was really unique to the Loud House, which made it stand out in the first season.
So in the Loud House, you can see it's kind of got a Sunday Funnies kind of feel to it.
The reason most of the newer fans won't recognize this is because of the subtle yet big change to make everything look normal and colorized like pretty much every other cartoon. The newer seasons don't look bad, however it's lost that comic book feel slightly. The sudden change to stop using the comic book shading and style is probably due to the original creator's dismissal. And that concludes this video. In my opinion, it was an overall fun time to see season 1 of the Loud House. It was a breath of fresh air, it was a new cartoon, everything was new, it was fun to see all the characters and get attached to them, and it was fun to learn all the names of all the sisters. Yes guys, you know, the original fans of Loud House, we had to learn all those sisters. I remember looking back at my older videos, I was forgetting every name, I was mixing them up. Now, if you ask me the sister's name, I can tell you it like this. I can tell you Luna Loud, Lucy Loud, Lincoln Loud. But man, I was looking back and man, it was hard, man. It was hard looking back at the older seasons. Season 1 of the Loud House, it was definitely a different time. Definitely a different story. Definitely learning new things about these characters, getting attached to them, picking our favorite characters, and growing as a community. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys later.
Remember when I said I'll save you? I lied. Change your name to the world of Gum Died. When I saw your girl, I should have attacked her. Your rhymes is less passionate than your voice actor. You're not man's best friend, you're just a cat. Guess what, bro? Your mom's butt's flat. Please, please give a chili with extra cheese. Breeze, breeze, I'm so chilled with the wheeze.
On Cartoon Network, I'm the biggest star. No one even knows how old you are. Used to be fat stuff.